I never expected to hear my wife laugh like that. It wasn't her normal laugh. It was sharper, reckless, almost proud. I was standing in the hallway outside our bedroom when I heard her voice through the slightly open door. "The idiot doesn't know I'm screwing his ex," she said, followed by laughter that didn't belong in our marriage. My blood boiled instantly, but I didn't move. I didn't confront her. I didn't even breathe too loudly. I just listened. She continued speaking in a tone I had never heard before, confident and careless. In that moment, jealousy wasn't what burned inside me. It was clarity. When she ended the call and walked into the kitchen pretending nothing happened, I kissed her on the forehead and asked how her day was. She smiled and said, "Normal." I nodded. But something inside me had already shifted permanently that night. My name is Marcus Hale. I own a mid-sized logistics company in Providence, Rhode Island. Reliable contracts. Clean books. Predictable systems. My wife, Vanessa, worked in marketing for a nightlife promotions firm. She thrived on attention, events, and social networks. Over the last 6 months, subtle changes crept into our marriage. More late nights. More client meetings. More secrecy around her phone. I noticed unfamiliar cologne lingering on her jacket twice before, but I convinced myself I was imagining things. The overheard phone call erased that illusion completely. The phrase replayed in my mind all evening. "The idiot doesn't know." I wasn't angry enough to explode. I was calm enough to think. Instead of confronting her, I reviewed our joint accounts quietly that same night. A series of hotel charges downtown caught my attention immediately. 3 different weekends. Same location. Same time pattern. The hotel was the Marlowe Grand, directly above a popular nightclub Vanessa frequently promoted. I didn't accuse her. I waited. The next morning, she mentioned a launch party scheduled for Saturday. That gave me exactly 3 days. I began preparing carefully. I contacted a private investigator I had used years earlier during a corporate fraud case. Within 48 hours, he confirmed what I already suspected. Surveillance photos showed Vanessa entering the hotel with a man named Tyler Knox. Tyler happened to be the ex-boyfriend of my former business rival, Daniel Rhodes. Suddenly her phone comment made sense. She wasn't just cheating. She was proud of humiliating someone else through it. I printed everything. Photos. Timestamps. Room confirmations. I didn't feel jealousy anymore. I felt precision. By Friday night, I knew exactly where she would be, and who would be watching. Saturday night arrived loud and predictable. The nightclub pulsed with music and flashing lights as Vanessa moved through the crowd like she owned the building. Tyler stood beside her near the VIP section, his hand resting too comfortably on her waist. Daniel Rhodes was also present across the room, unaware of the irony unfolding around him. I entered quietly and took a seat at the back bar. I waited. At midnight, Vanessa disappeared upstairs toward the hotel elevators. Tyler followed minutes later. I counted exactly 22 minutes before walking upstairs myself. The hallway outside Suite 1408 was quiet except for muffled laughter. I knocked once. Silence. Then the door opened slightly. Vanessa froze when she saw me. Tyler stepped back instantly. I didn't shout. I didn't touch anyone. I simply said, "We should finish this downstairs." Vanessa burst back into the nightclub minutes later, furious and panicked, yelling that I was trying to embarrass her publicly. The music lowered slightly as attention shifted toward us. Tyler attempted to slip away, but I blocked his path calmly. Daniel Rhodes approached, confused by the scene unfolding. That was when I pulled out my phone and mirrored the surveillance images onto the large promotional screen Vanessa herself had rented for the event. Suite numbers. Dates. Security timestamps. Photos of her entering the hotel with Tyler over multiple weekends. The room went silent. Daniel stared at Tyler in disbelief. Vanessa screamed that I was insane, that the photos were manipulated. I handed Daniel a printed copy of the hotel invoices with matching credit card records. "Ask her about the phone call," I said evenly. Tyler's confidence collapsed instantly. Chaos erupted around us, but I remained still. Daniel confronted Tyler immediately. Tyler tried denying everything, then blamed Vanessa. Vanessa tried blaming jealousy. The crowd watched in stunned silence. Investors, promoters, clients, everyone who mattered to her career. I didn't need to insult her. I didn't need to exaggerate. Evidence had already done the damage. Within minutes, security escorted Tyler out. Daniel walked away without another word. Vanessa turned toward me, shaking with rage and humiliation. "You ruined my life," she shouted. I looked at her calmly and replied, "No. I just ended the lie." I left the nightclub without looking back. The following week, her promotion contract was terminated. Sponsors distanced themselves. Daniel filed civil action against Tyler over financial misconduct tied to joint projects. And Vanessa finally understood something important. Silence can be more dangerous than jealousy. By Monday morning, the fallout had already begun. Vanessa's employer called her into an emergency meeting regarding conduct violations tied to the nightclub incident. Investors don't tolerate public scandals, especially when digital proof circulates faster than explanations. Tyler's name trended across local industry groups after Daniel released a brief statement distancing himself from both of them. I stayed home and reviewed emails quietly while Vanessa's phone buzzed non-stop. She accused me of sabotage. I reminded her that I had simply mirrored what already existed. When trust breaks, exposure feels like attack, but it is only reflection. By Tuesday afternoon, her contract was suspended pending review. Tyler's consulting agreement with Daniel's firm was terminated immediately. The people who once admired her confidence suddenly avoided eye contact. Pride erodes quickly when the spotlight turns unforgiving. Vanessa returned home late Tuesday evening, eyes red from anger rather than tears. She demanded we talk privately without legal threats. I listened while she reframed the affair as emotional confusion. She claimed the phone comment was exaggerated humor. I asked calmly whether humor requires 3 hotel reservations and matching timestamps. She had no answer. Instead, she accused me of planning revenge for days. I corrected her gently. I planned clarity. That distinction mattered. She insisted I embarrassed her intentionally. I told her she embarrassed herself when she believed secrecy equaled control. The argument ended not with shouting, but with silence. Silence forces accountability inward. That night, she slept in the guest room for the first time since we bought the house. I finalized divorce paperwork before sunrise. The divorce filing surprised her more than the nightclub exposure. She had assumed public embarrassment would be temporary, reparable with apology and time. Legal separation changed the equation entirely. Her attorney attempted to negotiate quietly, proposing mutual fault language to minimize reputational damage. My lawyer declined. Documentation listed hotel expenses charged partially through joint funds. Financial misuse influences settlements more than emotional arguments ever will. Within weeks, Vanessa realized the house would likely be sold to divide equity cleanly. Tyler avoided all communication after Daniel initiated civil proceedings regarding undisclosed side agreements. Vanessa's professional network shrank noticeably. Invitations stopped arriving. Brand partnerships dissolved. The nightlife industry values image above loyalty. She had miscalculated that truth would remain hidden indefinitely. Exposure does not require rage. It requires patience. Summer arrived with uncomfortable quiet. The house felt different once legal boundaries replaced emotional tension. Vanessa moved into a downtown apartment smaller than the VIP section she once commanded. I maintained residence temporarily while preparing the property for sale. Conversations between us became transactional. Bank statements, court dates, asset valuations. There was no screaming left. Only consequence. One afternoon, she asked whether I ever felt jealous of Tyler specifically. I told her jealousy had faded the moment I heard her laugh on that phone call. What replaced it was certainty. Certainty that respect had evaporated long before that night. She didn't argue. Some realizations arrived too late to reverse direction. The closing date for the house was scheduled for September. Tyler relocated out of Rhode Island before the civil case concluded publicly. Daniel regained investor confidence by demonstrating decisive action. Vanessa's former colleagues rarely mentioned her name anymore. Public memory moves on quickly once drama resolves. Privately, she struggled more than she admitted. Mutual friends reported that she avoided crowded venues altogether. The nightclub that once amplified her influence became a reminder instead. When mediation finalized, she retained limited assets but lost primary claim to shared investments due to documented financial misuse. I felt no triumph reviewing the settlement. Only closure. Closure feels less dramatic than revenge stories suggest. It feels quiet and steady, like completing a long overdue repair. Months later, I still remember the sound of her laugh on that phone call more clearly than the nightclub chaos. It was not jealousy that changed my course. It was disrespect layered with arrogance. When Vanessa burst into that nightclub screaming, she expected confrontation to protect her. Instead, it revealed her entirely. I did not destroy her world. I exposed the foundation she had already weakened herself. The house was sold. The marriage legally ended. The contracts dissolved. Pride rarely survives public accountability. As for me, I rebuilt quietly. Work expanded. Sleep returned without suspicion. Sometimes silence is mistaken for weakness. In reality, silence is observation preparing for action. She once believed I was the idiot who didn't know. In truth, I knew enough. And knowing calmly is far more powerful than reacting loudly.